Nearly 4 years ago, I started medical school at the peak of COVID. I made my matriculation from undergrad, for which we all remember that fated day of, hey, I'll see you in 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden we're graduating, and jumped headfirst into the vast unknown of medical school in a way that looked very, very different than anybody else has ever experienced before. The school socials, the meet and greets, the in-person guidance that we all sought after and were expecting vanished into thin air. My classmates became GroupMe pictures, my professors were recorded screens, and the ability to shadow and get exposure into what field you wanted to go into, post 4 years of taking that first step into medical school, seemed like it was locked behind walls. Although the restrictions were completely understandable for safety reasons, I needed a way to, one, stay insane within the circumstances, and two, explore the specialties that I was looking forward to, because I wanted to make a well-informed decision when figuring out what specialty to dedicate my career to in just a short few years, and I mean short in the most wild way, especially sitting here nearing the end. When screens and social media was really our only forms of connection, I remember binging YouTube, searching for inspiration that my photography and videography background could latch onto, and then came across Vogue and their 73 Question series, where their whole mission was to take this celebrity, somebody that society puts on a pedestal, and for 15 minutes, make them human, make them your friend, and you as the viewer, an invited guest into their life, not just as a professional, whether that be actor, athlete, or whatnot, but as the person when the cameras turn off, or the person that the paparazzi and the red carpets don't get to see. And with a little bit of jerry-rigging, because Vogue obviously has a 12 plus man crew manning lighting, audio, and everything, and I'm a crew of one, the first couple 73 question interviews came to fruition. Although rocky at the start, all the way back with that first one with Dr. Wild in the pediatric emergency medicine interview,
Happy New Year.
it was something that I knew I enjoyed. And then almost immediately after that, the general surgery interview with America Rivera quite literally shot me up to my first 1,000 subscribers. And that's when I saw the responses from you guys saying how useful these interviews were and to keep going. I still remember doing about 14 of these interviews and being ecstatic that I got 1,000 views. But at the end of the day, seeing the comments going like, thank you, we can't shadow. This has given me an insight into these doctors, their specialties, and not just that, but their personalities, and seeing if that's where I fit in. It allowed me to connect with so many different people at my medical school, both residents as well as faculty. It allowed me to gather so many stories to share to you, while also giving myself a little insight along the way of, hey, maybe I should go this way or that way. And then the series, out of nowhere, absolutely exploded. People that I looked up to on social media as physicians, people who are also combining their passions of media and medicine, started to connect with each other through this weird web that at its core was this camera. It was my first time traveling and meeting people. It was my first time saying, you know what, this has the potential to have an impact 1,000,000 times bigger than me or any of my guests could offer on our own. And I can be nothing but grateful. I want to take this moment to thank every single one of my guests who I've traveled 20 minutes down the road to 20 hours or several states over to meet. This series and this channel has given me opportunity to meet so many incredible people, many of which who have become my mentors, my friends, and have played an integral part in shaping me as a man, a creator, and ultimately a physician. And then I want to thank you for watching, because probably the majority of viewers on this channel found this channel because of that series. But with that being said, this is an admission of transparency, and I guess without sugarcoating it, moving on. I started the series because I was a medical student looking for ways to explore different specialties, and I'm so glad that you, hopefully watching, have learned something along with me about each and every single one of the specialties that I have interviewed over the past 4 years. I tried to get to as many as possible, at the very least covering many of the basic ones, and then sometimes diving into some of the subspecialties. But what a lot of you guys may not know is a lot of these interviews take anywhere from 2 months to 2 years to establish, to schedule. And not just that, but I was doing this all while being a full-time student, as a medical student. I kid you not, since last May of 2023, I think on average every 2 weeks I was on a plane or in a different city than my home city. And I've done more Anki cards and question banks and research papers and application stuff on planes, in hotel rooms, and in airport lounges than I can count, to be honest. And you may have also noticed I haven't posted in a little bit, and that's just because it's taken a toll on me. And I don't mean that in a complaining manner. It's the fact that I'm very tired as a medical student, and there's no way that I can continue to do that sort of travel and everything in residency. And on top of that, to be completely honest, my last rotation in med school ICU didn't end so well. My last day, there were a lot of very, very sick patients and a really bad code for which didn't make it, that I was involved in. And I went straight from that to on a plane to come here. And of course I can tell myself all day long, be a goldfish and forget about it and move on. But I'm not a goldfish. I filmed that in hopes of making a video about my trip to Seattle, and it really never saw the light of day because I was so exhausted I couldn't even turn it into a video. And those moments aren't going to stop, and in fact are probably going to get much more intense in residency. And so after a lot of thought over the past couple months, and with honestly a lot of gratitude, I am ending the 73 question series, and I have one more left. You guys are going to love this one more, because it's been quite literally 4 years in the making, and I believe it is the right time and the right person to figuratively drop the mic to. To answer the question what this channel is going to look like in the future, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. And for those of you who have subscribed to just see those interviews, thank you. Thank you for coming by and making my past 4 years some of the most interesting and wonderful and growing 4 years of my life. But there's no hard feelings. If there's another channel that you believe serves you better, please go watch those. And if I never got to your specialty that you requested in the comments or anything, this is where I'll leave you. And it's a call to action because, well, at the end of the day, I'm just a guy posting videos on YouTube, which means you can also be the person to carry that torch and make these interviews. If there's a specialty in particular that you want, ask your faculty, ask your residents, ask your family, friends, show them these videos, and just in the same way that I had fun jerry-rigging a way to tell these stories, do so yourself. It's the fun part of this. If you liked some of the questions that I asked, take them. If there are questions that you think I missed or needed to add, please add them, because those are the ones that are important to you. I ask the questions that are important to me. But just because I'm ending the series does not mean that this form of storytelling and humanizing doctors should stop. But yeah, that's just where I've been. Stay tuned for, cross your fingers and knock on some wood, some good news in the coming days. If you want to stay completely up to date, follow me on my socials, particularly Instagram, and you'll probably be the first to see before a video goes out. But I'll stop yapping now. Thank you guys.